What up? 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 What's up? It's your girl, Super. Yeah. Y'all seeing me a lot this week. I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying. Listen, I was in the middle of doing a live, preparing a live for today, actually. Um, which we'll probably do later because right now we got some breaking news. We got some piping hot tea. Okay, because people be lying. You know what? Before we get into that, let me do what I normally do, which is speak. And again, we are working on a new system, so please excuse all of the little glitches that may happen because we are working on a new system. I'm hoping that this system um is a little bit better. I don't know how the audio is working. You all get in the comments and let me know how the audio is working for you, if you can hear me loud and clear and all of those things. Let me know while I get set up to be able to see you all's comments. Gonna try to see you all's comments. All right. I don't know about the lag time. I don't know how that's working out today either. Hopefully it's working out fine. But I see it's still lagging a little. But anyway, we're gonna try to ignore that little lag. We'll work with it like we did yesterday. Okay, let me see. Let me see now. Let me see. Who's up in here? See if we can get to the comments. Okay, hold on. I don't see the comments on here. Hold on. Hold the line, please. And then we're going to get to the tea and we're going to get out of here because there's loads of things going on today, apparently. Oh, I need to bring up one more thing. Hold on. Before I speak to everybody. Boom. There it is. Got him. Okay. Why am I having trouble seeing comments on my phone? This isn't okay. There it is. There she blows. Let me turn from top messages to all messages so I can see everybody. Everybody. All right. Bambra semina. Okay, let's see. Let me speak to everybody. I'm a little bit excited about this tea. All right. What's up, Bubba? Oh, yeah, you got the notification. I'm so glad. Hey, Wyoming, my favorite gal. How you doing? Who we got here? RC Gray. Hello. How are you? Let's see who else. Hey, Jim C. Dave Bryson. See who else is in the building here that I did. Saint Center. I'm so glad to see you. I haven't seen you in a minute, but I'm glad to see you today. Nope, not even. Hey, how you doing? Let's see who else. Hey, Deb Hill. Listen, you people that's at work, don't you get fired and try to blame it on all in the queue or super because don't you do no you don't do that. Okay, so just be careful with your social media. If you're at work, you can catch the tea on the replay. Okay, well listen. Today in Harvey, right? I know that you all have been seeing all of the Facebook posts, about the informational that's going to take place in about 30 or so minutes. This informational that allegedly couldn't be done. We know from the meeting on Monday that the alder person from the second ward had asked for one to give that ward where this construction is going to be happening some information, some timelines. How long will these areas be closed? How long will this construction last? Who will it affect? Hey, Master G, how you doing? Who will it affect? and all of the things of the things. So let's see if we can get into the Facebook post. Okay, so here go one of the Facebook posts. This is the Facebook post on the city's website that says, hold on, let me enlarge it for the people like me who are seeing impaired. All right. It says the public information session says, please join us today, February the 11th, 2026 at City Hall, 15320 Broadway Avenue from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. for a public information session regarding the proposed improvement along Broadway Avenue. Improvements are proposed from 53rd Street to 155th Street. That would be 2 blocks. And Park Avenue. Park Avenue is going to be a very busy place because there is another construction set to jump off. And we talked about that in the recap via the Metro. To improve the safety, roadway conditions, and functionality of the critical downtown corridor. This meeting will present information regarding the engineering design of these improvements. The presentation will be made by Antero Group, followed by a question and answer session. Meeting materials and documentation will be made available for public viewing following this event. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. That'll be the first time that something is actually made available to the public um after the event. I feel like the event should be broadcast, right? Somebody said super fire. I'm out of here. That's hilarious. Um I feel like this informational should be broadcast. They do have the ability to broadcast from City Hall. It's just an informational, so they should be able to broadcast it on the city's page for this last minute meeting. Since a lot of people probably won't be able to attend because it was a last minute meeting. You just learned of the meeting today, right? This morning. It says 6 hours ago. That's when you learned of this meeting, 6 hours ago, according to the post, right? So they should broadcast it out, in the good graces of transparency. That's what they should do, right? That's how I feel like they should do it. But that's just me. So this is the meeting, right? This is the meeting. So then let me refresh your memory because from the meeting on Monday, and I do not want to misquote anybody. Okay, listen. I don't want no smoke with nobody. I just report the news, ma'am. I don't make it. I don't write it. I just report it. Okay. So I don't want no smoke with nobody. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and we're gonna recap, right, the meeting where the interim city administrator said that she didn't have any information for them. That the bids hadn't been put out, that they needed to accept the bid the they needed to accept the grant money in order for to put bids out so that she could get information to them. Now all of a sudden, an informational has to be done today in order for them not to lose the grant, which somebody asked what was the deadline, and that person couldn't even give the deadline. This interim um city administrator, who I think her name is Kareem. But anyway, let's hear what she had to say, and then we're gonna get into the tea. All right, let's. Lord, I hope this worked today because yesterday we was fighting. We was fighting ourselves. Okay, so let's see what Kareen is talking about here.
They will tell us how long the project will actually take. There's some projections, but
Okay, y'all let me know if y'all can hear the video because yesterday we had so many problems with the audio on this video. I'm gonna wait until somebody in the comments tell me that they could hear the audio of this video. I know we lagging a little bit. Somebody, anybody in the comments, let me know you can hear this video. The video that I just played, that little clip, that little piece, so that I can proceed. Let me do this. I just want to know if y'all can hear the audio on the video, that little piece that I played, so that we can continue. Hold on, let me check. All right, I'm going to assume that you can because nobody has responded in the comments, but here we go. Okay.
Madam Chair Pro Tem, one of the things that Second Ward Alderman brought out that I found to be pretty substantial in my decision making is not so much of the public hearing, but the timelines from start to finish. That will indicate how we, as the remaining city council members, can vote. How long will this affect the quality of life for the citizens here?
Okay, I'm gonna turn that over to the city administrator. Excuse me, can you please go to the microphone so everyone can have the opportunity to hear you? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your question. To answer the question, we first have to vote to receive the money. Then we'll go out to bid. So we know what the project is, but until we go out to bid and actually have a contractor solidified, they will tell us how long the project will actually take. There's some projections, but I don't know if they're gonna cut down half the street, both sides of the street at one time. I don't know, but it's right here in front of Broadway. We won't know until we have a contractor in place.
So just to recap, we're only talking 2 blocks in this in front of our city building.
Yes.
Just 2 blocks. So within this block would be our building, of course, alderpersons, and probably the park district, but the park district is an adjacent parking lot and restoration ministries that could park along the side. The other business that would be really effective right now would be next door, the apartment complex, but they have an entrance to go in and an exit to go in. Going down a little bit further, the only business that I think is active on the floor, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Davis, is the fact that it would be Gloria's.
I think that's the only business on that strip. Yes.
Okay, so Gloria's will still have amp park going across the street. Going across the street to get in and out of her location too, right?
That would be a conversation when we get the contractor to make sure each
okay, to
business will
make
still have
sure,
access.
okay, so that her customers or their customers will have access. So back to the original question, with that being said, 2 blocks, do we think we need a public forum, alderpersons? Yes, Alderman Randall.
I for one have always respected the alderperson and their ward request.
I do too.
I think that's important. I'm a 5th Ward Alderman. This project is in the 2nd. With that being said, 2 questions. Well, one question is, number one, I would have to ask the 2nd Ward Alderman, what issues do she need to clarify or would like to address in this public hearing, if they haven't already been addressed already. And secondly, I know that sometimes with grants, there's a time restraint for them to be submitted before I could really answer that question.
Okay, as Ms. Davis just indicated, the time when we sign this, then, I'm sorry,
I'm referring to the submittal. You know, like they'll say this needs to be in by such and such date, or
So we already have the grant funds.
okay.
The grant funds have already been solidified, as the Alderwoman stated. It's a $3.6 million project.
Did she say we already have the grant funds? Huh? Did she say we already have the grant funds? Oh, okay.
SSMMA is giving us an additional $300,000 for the road replacement overlay. So it's additional money that we needed to complete the total amount of $3.6 million.
I got you.
okay, so then your second question
Well,
would
if
go
you-
back to
Yes.
Alderman Chapman. If you can just answer that question, and then we can proceed forward, because then we need to move on. Thank you.
I think it's just always rightful. We showed and proved a point of process. That's why we had it on the Monday, January 26th agenda. And at that time, the vision of our leadership felt it was necessary as well to host that public forum. So in following, this is the same exact agenda from January 26th. The only
Correct.
thing that's missing, well, the previous agenda before this agenda just had the
right.
Broadway. So I think we should just still follow suit. I know that the residents of the second ward across Broadway, from the POA building, Preservation of Affordable Housing at 178 East 155th Street, all the way back through Miss Gloria, who's been here 40 years, across the street from the security company.
Okay, so
But I just
you
think
would
that
want,
they-
you want to continue. Okay, she
Yeah.
answered your
Yeah.
question, and see if that's sufficient. Again, the aldermen have a right to use their vote, and we can move forward on this. Are there any other new debate questions? Okay, then I'm
Okay. Now listen, you heard that lady said that they already had the grant money. You also heard that lady say that she didn't have any information to give them because there needed to be bids put out. Did you hear that? Let me know if you all heard that. I want to confirm that what I heard is what you heard, right? That she didn't have any information to give them, that they needed to put bids out before they could give them timelines from whatever contractor that was going to be doing the work. Is that what you all heard? I'm going to give you a few minutes to respond because we got to get into questions, more questions after we get this receipt. Is that what you all heard? I just want to make sure that's what you all heard. Because that's what you all heard, let's look at receipts. Okay, let's look at receipts and let's look at why people would be not telling the truth at this point, why people would be lying through their teeth about information that the public deserves to hear. Right? Okay, so let's get into the receipt, child. Let's get into the receipt. Let's go to the receipt because I got questions. Okay, so the receipt that you are about to see on this screen here. This receipt. You see this receipt? In the Facebook post, they said that Antero Group was going to be giving the presentation. What presentation are they giving if the interim city administrator said that she didn't have any information to give them, that no bids had been put out, and so she didn't have any information to give them, that they just needed to vote? Okay, do you see that date up there in the top left corner that says January the 27th? the great alderperson of the second ward said that was the same agenda from January the 26th. It was the same exact agenda from the 26th that Mayor Clark had put out. The same exact one. This letter is dated the day after that meeting. And what does it say in the headline? And this is from the group that's giving the presentation today. Notice that date, January the 27th, 2026. We are now in February the 11th, 2026. That woman stood up there and said that she didn't have any information to give them. They needed to vote so that they could put it out to bid, so that they could get information. But yet this letter is dated January the 27th, 2026. The title is Broadway Avenue Reconstruction Public Information Meeting. Huh? Now let's read this receipt. Let's read this receipt. Let's get into this receipt, honey. Let's read it. It says, "Dear resident, on behalf of the city of Harvey, you are receiving this letter because your property is adjacent to the site of a proposed roadway improvement project led by the city of Harvey. The reconstruction of Broadway Avenue between 153rd and 155th Streets to address underlying utility deficiencies, transit access improvements, and ADA accessibility improvements along this crucial downtown corridor. A public information meeting will be held to provide an opportunity to learn more about this project, view design exhibits, and speak directly with members of the project team. The proposed improvements include transit stop shelter improvements, ADA compliant intersections, underlying utility repair and replacement, and a full depth roadway reconstruction. These improvements will increase safety and access for pedestrians and cyclists, provide a more accessible route to important community services, and minimize environmental impacts. Once completed, these new trails will greatly improve connectivity between neighborhoods, parks, and community destinations while also supporting local businesses. The public information meeting will be held on Wednesday, February the 11th, 2026 from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. at City Hall, 15320 Broadway Avenue, Harvey, Illinois, 60426. There will be a brief presentation followed by an open house style question and answer session. You may arrive and leave at your convenience during the posted hours. If you require special accommodation or would like more information about the open house, please contact City Hall. Now, not you stood up there at that meeting on Monday night and said there was no possibility of a forum because you didn't have any information to give them yet. This letter is dated January the 27th, 2026 for a meeting that they placed on the books for February 11th. Well, my God, today is February 11th. So you mean to tell me, Corrine Davis, you got up there and lied at that podium and wasn't going to tell the public about this meeting that was set way back on January the 27th? And that's the reason the meeting couldn't be canceled today? It couldn't be canceled, not because you would lose the grant money, but because this professional business group, the Antero Group, had already set the informational for February the 11th. And who can just change a date on a whim when they are running a business? a whole entire business. Now, City of Harvey, where you at? Huh? Where is you at? Where is the outrage? But y'all want Shirley to be mayor pro temp, and these are the type of shenanigans that her and this interim city administrator got going on. That's what you telling me? Huh? Antero Group is the engineering group who will be in charge of the project. They always was able to give information to the residents about the project because they are the project managers. The only thing they're going to do is hire a contractor to do the work. That's why I said it's no way in the world she have to wait to put out bids. They already had the plans. Now, who lying? Now, who is lying? Y'all need to like, share, and subscribe to this channel so that you can make sure that you get proper and true information. This letter was sent out to, you see who they said they sent it to? They sent it to all the people along Broadway Avenue between 153rd and 155th on January the 27th. 2026, that would be this year. And they had already planned this meeting for today. Now, who lying? Now, all you people out there that be complaining and saying, oh, the older person on the second ward and the fourth ward, they annoying. They oppose the great mayor of Harvey. Now, look at what the great mayor of Harvey was hiding from the residents, him and that interim city administrator. I told you when it's interim in front of your name, that means you're able to be controlled. That means you're told what to do and you do it. That's what that means. Okay? So you better be glad that you have the alderperson of the second ward and the alderperson of the fourth ward to stand up and be asking questions, no matter how frivolous you think they are. They are looking out for your best interest because meetings like this are happening without your knowledge. Huh? It's some big construction projects get ready to come up. Let me tell you how the bid process is supposed to happen. It's supposed to happen out in the public, in front of your eyes and for everyone to witness. Meaning that Kareem was supposed to, they voted to do this grant. They voted to receive the money. Boom, got it. The next step that's supposed to happen is the engineering firm. They had the plans. They did the plans. Now the plans are to go out to bid. They go up on the website under the RFID bid section where all contractors can view government bids. They're going to come and bring their bids by a certain deadline. Usually it's at least 7 days. They have at least 7 days deadline to come and bring their packets on how much they're going to charge to do the work that is set forth in the plan. Those bids are then given in the packet of information to the order people. Every last person or contractor that turns in a bid, their packet should be copied and sent to every order person on the board. They look over the bids, and then they come to a consensus about which company they want to choose. All of this is done in the public. It should be put on the agenda, motioned, seconded, debated, voted. They can even choose to talk about it at the cow, which is what they should do. They should talk about the bids at the cow, choose the bid that they're going to vote on, send that to the council meeting, vote on it, and then there you have the contractor to do the work. Meantime, the residents are able to view the bids, view the companies, view all the information. Everything should be itemized line by line so that they know what money is going where, when, and how. In addition, timelines should be in all of these packets. It's going to take us from March to April to do this. It's going to take us from June, July to do this, the Timbuktu, this, and Foo too. Okay? All those timelines should be set out in these packets. The alder person should be able to contact any of these contractors and ask them any questions they want about the bids that they turned in if they have questions. All of this is supposed to be done in the public. If you have never seen this process, don't know this process, never heard of this process, then your government is doing you a huge disservice, and they actually are breaking the law. Huh? The only way to circumvent this procedure is for there to be put on the agenda that non-competitive bidding is going to be halted for this project, meaning that they're just going to pick a contractor that they want and that person going to do the work with no bids. Because if they don't do it the first way I told you to do it, it's called non-bidding contracts, and it is illegal in the state of Illinois. See, that's why it's important to do your own research. It's important to know these processes so that your tax money is not being misused, misappropriated, abused, and just given to anyone. TK, that's it right there. Master G, listen, let me tell you something. If I could be a politician and never have to go out into the public, that's what I do. Because, baby, listen, some of these people make me so mad, I want to be asking them, ho, is you cool? Is you cool, ho? Because right now, you're not making any sense. Why would you get up there and lie to the public? Oh, because you don't live in Harvey? Because you live in South Holland and you don't care? Because this not your money? Because none of this affects you? Noted. I don't care if you hire somebody that's outside of Harvey for these other positions. Just make sure that they are morally and their character is intact. Because somebody, anybody that would get up in front of the public and blatantly lie, knowing that this letter right here went out to the public, doing some nasty work. Do you hear me? They doing some nasty, nasty work behind the scenes. Huh? Why would you lie like that? I just want to know. This is why I say that it's not them, it's us. We have to start cleaning up us. No one is doing anything to us that we not doing to ourselves. You should have more integrity than that, more character than that, than to get up in front of the public and just lie. Huh? This makes me so damn mad that you would just lie. That you would just lie. This letter went out January the 27th. To the businesses and the residents that live on Broadway, 153rd to 155th, and tells them right here in this letter that there will be a meeting today. Yet you stood at that podium and didn't tell nobody. You didn't say nothing on Monday. Man, I feel like, I don't know, I love being Black. Because there ain't nothing like it. Listen, I'm not racist. Ain't no shade to nobody else. But I love me some me. Do you hear me? And when I was growing up and we went to the store and we started acting up and your mama started talking through their teeth, you know when you got home, you was going to get it. You might even get it in the car. They start talking, man. I started talking through my teeth and saying, I know goodness damn well you did not get in front of the public and lie like that. It makes me embarrassed to be Black the way that we be out there acting and carrying ourselves for some money. Just crazy. Okay, TK, get the strap. This deserves the strap. Can we all just admit that it's just everybody and including and all of that? All of the above, all of them. But I'm particularly embarrassed about my people. Now you seen this here first, right here. It says January 27th that this was sent out for a public informational meeting on February the 11th, and you was not even going to tell nobody on Monday. They even let you come to the podium and speak, and you ain't said nothing. Shame on your ass. Shame on you. We need to stop allowing this behavior. That was a disservice that you did to the entire community of Harvey. Got up there and lied like that when all you had to do was tell the truth. This is proof that a lie don't care who tell it. Lord have mercy. Now, like, share, subscribe. Show the people. Show the people that their city administrator lied. I don't know who else was involved with the lie, but I know she lied and knew that she lied because Antero is the engineer group. Look them up. They're going to be the project managers since that's the engineering crew that they picked. Not my choice. I would not pick them, but anywho, that's who it is. We also have to start holding our own selves accountable to start doing research, our own research. You see that date up there? Don't nobody come over here telling me I'm any type of lie. Because this right here from the engineering group dated on this day and tells you right here at the bottom of this letter that they was going to have the meeting today. Embarrassing. Very embarrassing. I promise you, you should have been gone in 60 seconds. Ain't that the movie? You should be gone in 60 seconds for lying like that to the public. I need to check something right quick because I want to see they should have been broadcasting this meeting for the public. Let's see if somebody is broadcasting this meeting. All right. Listen, somebody is broadcasting this meeting. I'm going to try. Let me try to see if we can watch it. The meeting just started. I'm going to see. We got the evidence already. Let's see if we can try to watch this meeting. Hold on. Hold the line, please. Y'all know this thing be acting funny. Let's see if we can get it up here. Maybe we can catch a little bit of the meeting. I'm so glad that the other person went live because I could not be there because it was a last minute thing. It was a last minute thing. Let's see if we can get it up here. Okay, I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see if I can add it. Hold on. Alright, let's see. Hold on, y'all. Imma get it. Hold on.
needs improvement, and if this is part of those.
Let me know if y'all can hear me.
Enhance the downtown. We've got the lovely rendering of the building that is now actually constructed, and part of the overall Harvey vision to be improving the community. So excited to have this project be through design and going toward the construction process. Schedule. So construction schedule, it's planned to start fall of this year, so that'll be dependent on the IDOT procurement process. So we're submitting the final designs ready for construction, and then the IDOT process of letting, so it's expected to start construction in the fall. We're doing some pushes. We'll see if it can happen any earlier, but it looks like it's going to be in the fall. Project will start with utility relocates, which have minor effects on traffic, and then there will be 2 phases of road reconstruction. So the first phase will leave the intersection at 153rd open, and then the second phase, so this phase will have Broadway shut down from 155th to 153rd, but the intersection at 153rd will remain open. And then in phase 2, Broadway will be reopened, and just the intersection at 153rd will be closed. We have a couple of figures following this to see what that looks like. The detour route will be through either Park Avenue or Center. So you can see, you're welcome to back and take a look after the presentation, but you know, our Broadway improvements go through this intersection here at 155th up to 153rd. So this is the detour route. You'll use either Park or Center while the construction is happening between 155th and 153rd. 153rd intersection to remain open. Second phase, once that construction is complete, Broadway will be reopened, and just the intersection here at 153rd and Broadway will be closed. All right. That is the overview. So maybe flip back up to 2 slides back. This one. Probably the best visual of the actual section for Q&A.
Sure.
Yes.
I'm going to run right off the bat. All right. First of all, if you're going to put new water lines down on the floor on the 2.5 blocks, they're going to lead into the old lines that are out there.
Yes.
That don't make any sense, because if the old is old and you're putting new, then it's making a mess out of that. 2, you mentioned that they were going to be putting fiber optic cable underground, but most of the houses around here don't even have fiber optic. We don't have fiber optic around here, period. And most of the stuff that goes to the houses is on the power lines for Comcast or AT&T or whoever. Will there be more fire hydrants out there? I think that's what should be looked at. Will the speed bumps stay or go? Because we got one right out here in the front. If we're gonna make it all smooth, we don't need speed bumps. Are we gonna get new signs? Street signs? Street lights? Whatever else you wanna throw in on that?
I'm writing my list so I can respond to them in kind.
Fine. Any new stop signs, stop lights, new signs so people know where we are when we need to know where we are at? Will there be cameras up there? I know I'm going too fast for it.
I know. you're rapid fire, we gotta go in more individual. So, old lines to new lines. We have to replace things in stages. So you're correct that when we replace a certain section of water line, what does that mean for the old line? It means that that becomes the next priority of project. So that will be, I would have to look back and get back to you on whether that has already been allocated or if it's up for our review of the next project. Again, I'm fortunately only presenting on the engineering of this project, but I know that Steve Harvey is regularly working on, let's get funding for the next stage so that as part of that comprehensive plan, we do have full utilities replaced, right? But we do have to do it in chunks, just for the amount of funding available.
We've had several water mains break within the last so many months here. And that being said, the water mains breaking, that means whatever the new street will mean it'll have to be torn up again to fix the water main.
So yes and no, right? So the breaks are happening because of the age and deterioration, right? So by replacing and putting in a new pipe, then we are solving that problem within those blocks. And that's why we need to be continuing on those capital improvement plans to then also be upgrading the next section so that we don't have those break issues. So we'll be solving it for these couple of blocks. We won't be solving it for every block, but those will be considered in the next phases of capital improvement plan. So, guess about cover. So I don't have a good answer on what everyone is using for internet access right now, but it's one of those things that when you have the road torn up and you're putting in the utilities, it's very easy to run another cable versus coming back later and digging it up again to put in a fiber line when it's ready. So while you have everything torn up, go ahead and put in all of the utilities that you have. Wondering if hydrants, I'll have to double check with my engineering team on whether we are proposing any new hydrants, but good question. I know we're proposing new valves so that there is better control and turn off so that we can isolate issues that happen. So that's the 12 valves. Signage, yes. Both wayfinding and stop signage is a big part of this project because of that emphasis on the access to the Harvey Transit Center. So having sufficient signage along that block so people know how to navigate, whether it's to the base station or to the metro station. So quite a bit of signage included there. I will also have to check on whether there is additional lighting included in this phase or whether that's a separate phase. You can take a note on that. And I also do not know the answer on cameras, and we'll have to get back to you on that one. That's not a part of the engineering things that we have been working on. We're mostly working on the ground and the utilities, so I'll have to get back to you.
And what's the project take longer time?
How long will the project construction take?
I know you said September start up.
It's supposed to take a year, roughly, depending on how construction goes. So I know we can hope it'll go faster, but it should be within a year.
Can we get a 2-for-1 deal? Do 2 streets for 1?
Unfortunately, not within the available funding. So
Gotta ask.
I know we all like a good deal, so it would be nice. Other questions?
Is 155th Street is the street gonna be cut off? Is it gonna be a dead end or?
Yes. So I don't know if we can zoom in here, but basically it'll dead end at this intersection, so you will need to go around to 150. I've got my directions off. 156th or 153rd. So
Not just for the detour, I'm talking permanently.
Oh, no, just for the detour.
Okay.
Yeah. Just for the detour. It'll be open back up.
How will the businesses along 155th be impacted by this shutdown beginning in September?
Along 155th.
Or pardon me, from 153rd to 155th and Broadway, how will they be impacted?
You mean their access to the road and how they'll drive?
Or customers coming into their business?
Right, so that will be a part of our review of, that's kind of part of construction methodology. And so I would say that will be part of reviewing the contractor bids, is making sure that they have a plan for maintaining access. But from the design standpoint, we don't have that answer yet. So it'll be something to work through with the construction plan.
And so you spoke about bids. And so this has now been approved. We're having today's meeting to follow all the steps according to what the grant requires. And so then is a bid, the bid, is that going out following today's meeting, or?
It'll be bid out by IDOT.
By IDOT, okay.
Yeah. So we will submit all of the engineering documents for them, but then IDOT will do the actual bidding.
And are there gonna be any additional funds procured for this project? Are we applying for any other funding for completing the Broadway improvement project?
Not that I am aware of at this time, so not that I'm involved in.
Just confirming, what has already been approved, it was about roughly $3.9 million we voted as a council on yesterday or Monday. That is all funding dedicated to the Broadway improvement project?
Yes.
I was like, as the engineer, I don't know, but Chris.
So what you got on Monday, the 3.6 million is all dedicated to.
3.6, pardon me.
Broadway.
Okay, real good. Thank you. If I may, just a point of suggestion. That's why I asked you where you Miss Randall. We were just notified about today's meeting, and I understand based on the timeline that it had to be done today, or else we'd lose the grant. So I'm just asking, moving forward, that in Terra, when you all send it out to the businesses, because those are the direct people that would be affected, that you also notify the aldermen, notify the city. I didn't receive that. Pardon me.
Like I said, the city does that, so we'll notify.
Okay. Can I finish my statement, Corinne? Because you're cutting me
We
off.
already talked about it.
We did, but I hadn't spoken with her. So that's very rude.
I know, it's very rude for you to ask an engineer something about city business.
Why would that be rude?
Because
She's here presenting.
responsibility.
Well, whomever was responsibility it was,
We'll talk to you
you
about
dropped the ball on it. So as I was stating before I was rudely interrupted, it is ideal for us as a community. I'm sure more folks would have been here today had it not been at 4 o'clock. Our council meetings are at 7 p.m. So my ask is just that when you are putting out the information, that is put out community-wide and at a time that can be widely attended by the community. We maybe have more questions to provide at that time.
Duly noted.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See, she would have got that hoe. Is you cool for me? Because I ain't talking to you. See, that's why I can't be an elected official, Master G. That's why. Because she definitely would have got that hoe. Is you cool?
Okay, yeah, this will be going back to like the history and the other pages on here. To determine your Broadway here being done, what was the deciding factors besides the age and the amount of potholes?
I mean, the road condition is a significant factor in.
Yeah, essentially, why Broadway? I mean, for the amount of money that's being spent out here, tearing up all the water mains for 3 blocks, 2.5 blocks, whatever the number's gonna be. Problem's still gonna relate that, we already talked about it, that they're going from new into old, and the new is gonna be the strong guys, the old's gonna be the weak guys, and it could also turn around and backfire.
Yeah, so the project does need to be done in chunks, right? The amount of funding that you can get at a particular time. And so we do look at prioritizing, starting at a particular end and working our way through. So this is the first phase, and also the interaction with the new Harvey Transit Center, wanting that.
Here, Rosie.
Thank you.
Maybe I can help.
Yes, thank you.
So, a part of the grant requirements, you have to do certain roads a part of the grant. This particular grant is asking for a transit-oriented development portion of the city to be done. Since we have the metro station, they've already been done, this is a natural next street. So we can apply for the 3.6 million, or we cannot. So we can either get new stuff and get you new infrastructure underneath, although the rest of it is still old, or we keep it all old. So if you're saying it's better to just keep it all old, I get it, but a new system will hold more water and it will sustain over, these water lines are supposed to sustain over a 20 to 30, 40-year period.
So you're gonna take a 20, 30-year-old period and add it to something that's 60 and 70-year-old and expect it to respectfully work with each other.
Absolutely. I mean, we have no other choice. We have a full city. We can't replace all the we can't replace all the lines in the city at one time. This one street is 3 million. So do we not?
For 2 blocks, for 2.5 blocks.
Absolutely. 3.6 million. So very close to 4 million. So are you saying don't do anything?
I didn't say that, but I think it needs to be reevaluated, re-looked at, and see what other streets that are mainly are in disarray.
Yes.
I think you need to look at the fact of getting rid of the speed bumps.
Well, that has nothing to do with the grant. We either apply, the grant doesn't get.
In order to fix up the streets, you gotta get rid of the speed bumps, because you got a speed bump sitting right out here in the front. And in fairness, driving down this street here is not that bad.
You better
in
tell her.
comparison to the rest of the town. No.
Don't do that.
Don't do it.
Because I can speak, but don't do that.
I'm not.
You definitely. Give me 1 second. Jesus.
Very rude. Very rude. It needs to shut up.
Because the grant has nothing to do with the speed bumps. It has nothing to do
He's
with.
telling you you have to remove the speed bump in order to repair the road and the pipe, you dumb Donald.
Requirements of the grant. The grant says
Lord,
it has to be a
fix it.
transit-oriented development. We pick the best street that we possibly can. So either we want the money or we don't want the money. But to say we could pick a different street, I mean, all the streets are bad. All the infrastructure is bad. The road here, the pipes has not been replaced in over 100 years. So whether you see it or not, or whether you see a sinkhole or not, all of them need to be replaced. So this is just where we are. We're just trying to give you the information that we have, because this is where we are today.
So then we're doing it backwards.
If that's how you feel, that's fine.
My question basically is, you're working off a timeline. So do you have a timeline? You need to hurry up and do this. This is what's chosen. I don't know about the 100 years, but I'm taking your word for it. You say it's 100 years old, it's 100 years old. So it was a shot clock thing where you seen the shot clock going down, you hurry up and need to apply, and this is what we have.
That's where we are.
Is that just base, the whole circle right there?
Yes.
All right, cool. That was basically my whole question too, by the way. It was short.
I was trying to get your attention for this.
Yeah, I just had a question. I think it's a good idea what you're doing.
Wyoming, y'all, clarify your question. Does anybody, you said, does anyone know what they are doing? Clarify the question for me so I can answer it for you.
Do cameras down there to see what condition stuff is in, or it's like when you open it up, then you really find out what's going on? If there's cost overruns for, maybe you might have to do 10, 15 feet more piping to connect it up with the old, because you find that part where you want to connect it up with is not good. Is there money in there for cost overruns? Because usually in construction projects, you have a budget set up, but
But you've done construction before,
Yeah,
you know?
I have.
That never goes exactly to a plan, but that is, so that is part of, an engineering cost estimate is to have some contingency. We don't know what we don't know, but part of the phase 1 of design is doing all of that survey, right? So doing your utility locate, doing your survey, doing as much survey as we can to get as much information as we can before you begin during the. So short answer, yes. The investigation to know what we can today. That was done before design began. And then there's always contingency built in, and that's part of, again, the city won't be doing
At the city right now, Wyoming, y'all know.
IDOT will be reviewing the bids and the contractors, and they should include that they're a good contractor and have done construction before. They should have contingency, and that is something that is included in our engineering cost estimate, to have contingency for
Okay, that's good.
life
That's good.
happening.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I was thinking in my head, well, are we gonna lose a portion of the project if we run into something that takes up some money that was supposed to be for something else? So we gotta fix this, you know, and well, so we'll take away this part and it starts shrinking, you know?
It shouldn't, but
Okay.
I don't know what I don't know yet. but we
Javar, she
should
works
be
for
doing
Antero Group, and she is
contingency
giving
and everything.
the presentation of the designs.
We'll ask you this, as I brought it up about speed bumps before, is that on your guys' end, or is that a city thing that when they construct those?
On adding speed bumps,
That's a city thing.
Yeah.
We did the speed bumps on our.
I was like, I don't think that the proposed plans include additional speed bumps, but that may be something the city has. Okay.
Yeah, we put them down on our.
As a way for us to identify the project timeline, when it starts in September, will you all hold a quarterly meeting? Will you all provide a rendering or something we can identify what's been done and what's yet to be completed across the year timeline?
Are you saying for the construction administration and like how the
Yeah.
project is progressing?
Yeah, so since you said it's gonna kick off in September and it's going to go until September 27.
Yeah, so unfortunately, my scope as the engineer will end with this process. We'll see how the bidding review goes. You know, as the engineer of record for these plans, we will definitely, you know, put in our bid to do construction administration and maybe involved with that. But that would be, I think, if there's additional meetings, something to decide as the city.
So will IDOT supervise this whole, once they get the contract, identify the contractors, will they then supervise or will they be over the administration of it?
Construction administration will be part of the bid, so there will be a third-party construction administration. It won't be IDOT personnel necessarily, but it will be a third
So
party.
who would that be? Is just somebody?
We won't know until the
The
bid
bid happens.
Yeah. Could be us, could be another engineering company, could be a
And
separate.
they can provide updates as needed.
Yes, that is.
So it still has to be shopped around, is what you're telling us?
Yes, it will be bid by IDOT.
So IDOT does periodic bidding where they bid out hundreds of projects, everything from, you know, interstate widenings to projects like this, which it's going through IDOT's process because of the funding, which Queen's talked about, the grant funding. It has to go through IDOT's process. So they do public biddings.
So they was not on the timeline, because IDOT, they could take forever.
This will be included on one of their bidding packages, looking for, you know, any qualified bidder.
I'm gonna tell y'all what I know about grants
So
when we
it's
finish
their
this.
system and their process because of the grant funding mechanism, just a requirement for the money.
If I could just confirm in short that City of Harvey won't be a part of this bidding process, only the Illinois Department of Transportation? Is that correct? Yes? Okay.
Okay, if there's no more questions, wrap up. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you.
Okay, now, hold on 1 second before y'all see something crazy on my page. Okay, now let me tell you what I know about grants. You see how rude that lady was? Not only was she rude, she was nasty to her boss, who is the alderperson of the second ward. Now, why would you be in there talking crazy to a person who runs basically the city? She's your boss. Telling her, don't do that, don't do that. You don't tell me not to do anything. See, Master G, if this could tell you why I can't be a public servant because it would have took everything in me not to jump out of that chair and go across her head for talking to me crazy like she didn't have no sense after she lied about not having information. Now she's sitting up there answering questions like she got the answer to everything. Have you lost your mind? That didn't make any sense. Good thing she is an interim because whoever gets in that seat needs to replace her ASAP Rocky. Okay? ASAP Rocky, she need to be replaced. Because you don't be talking to the residents like that, and you don't talk to an older person like that either. That's crazy. That don't make any sense. Now, let me tell you what I know about grants. And I can show you proof of this. I'm going to show you proof of this because we have a whole bunch of lives to do, like I told you. I don't know if I'm going to do them live or if I'm going to do videos. I'll make the decision later. But you have $3.6 million. This project is going to take a year. So what do you mean you're going to lose the money if you don't have the information on today? They just gave the timeline of the project being a year. So most grants, when you get the money, you do have a timeline. Most of them are year-long timelines. Every dollar has to be accounted for in an accounting itemized statement situation, if not uploaded to a particular system, or they have to turn it in via paper where they fill out an Excel spreadsheet with all of their itemized costs. But let me tell you what else I know about grants. You can also, as the timeline shrinks, you can send a request to your grant administrator requesting an extension. You can request an extension of 6 months if it's going to take that long. You can request an extension of another year. And in most cases, they will grant it as long as you have been turning in your quarterly, monthly, or however they deem accounting papers. So all sorts of lies was told. And that person need to be held accountable for said lies. But it makes no sense that this is the way in which you handle residents and older people just rudely. That's crazy. When you was the one that got up there and lied about not having any information. Now you saw them slides. Those slides did not look like they had been prepared in the last 6 hours. Looked like somebody spent at least 2 or 3 months putting these slides together. That lady had a whole detour route already mapped out, telling the people where the detours was going to be and how you get around everything. Blessed be the Lord. Well, you see why Miss Chapman was so calm, cool, and collected, right, and professional, knowing that the girl might be going to be. Listen, she needed to be replaced as of tomorrow. I said gone in 60 seconds. I told y'all. And gonna stand up there like she hadn't lied. And then all of a sudden she can answer all the questions. Now she got all the answers. She was in the meeting on Monday and ain't know nothing. Today, magically, she got answers. Child, listen. I have another live coming. The next live is a Dalton live. It's the live I was working on. We're going to talk about Dalton. We have a few things to go over. Please like, share, subscribe, support this channel. Support this channel so that I can continue to investigate and do the research and bring you the information. It takes time to do this research. It takes time to do this research. If you feel so inclined, Super Chat, Cash App, help this channel stay on the air. But with that being said, listen, that's all I got. I hope that was enough for you. I hope that, you know, you share this live. You share that bit of information, that this information was set up months ago in January. A month ago in January for this day right here. All right, I'm gonna see y'all again. I don't know if I'm gonna come back on tonight, but I have a live for tomorrow, so I'll see you guys again tomorrow. This time probably earlier because I'm gonna get this live together and we're gonna be ready to roll. Thank you so much, Wham Guy. Appreciate the super chat of $5. It's gonna enable me to do 3 more hours worth of research tonight. I promise you, because I got lots to put together. Okay, listen. Like, share, subscribe, be good to your neighbors. We also have to go over the ballots and the candidates. I will be probably doing those via recorded lives. Okay. We're going to go over each candidate and these ballots so you all will be able to make your choices with these judges, with these candidates. And if anybody has any referendums, we'll talk about those. All right. Listen, I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for sitting with me through this one. I appreciate you. I wish nothing but blessings for your life. Have a good one. And listen, don't be afraid to ask somebody, ho, is you cool or is you cool?